Lumi's method. So what you do is you look at the proportions and draw very basic shapes. And after you have this basic shape, that's when you go in and draw more detail. For example, this guy, you start with a circle and we'll be doing that. And it gives you the proportion just to get a more accurate drawing. And you can adjust this technique to anyone pretty much. So we'll do the front facing one first. So everyone get your pencil. And the first thing we're going to do is draw a circle. You remember our first class that you hold the pencil like this. Like this. I usually, when I'm drawing circles, I hold it like that and move my entire arm. I start the movement from my shoulder, not the wrist, because the wrist is gonna give you an oval. But if you draw with your shoulder, you're gonna get a better circle. So let's start our circle. Nice and big. And you know how I like to draw circles, so I just go over and over until it starts to get the shape. Let me just close the window because they're kind of nice. So keep going with your circle. Once you have a little bit of a shape that you like, put more pressure, just a little bit. And then you can erase the parts that you feel don't go. So I'm gonna erase the top one a little bit. If you're having trouble with the circle, you can get a ruler or even your pencil and measure, and to make sure they're the same length. I'll wait for you to finish the circle. Once you're happy with your circle, put a dot in the middle, right on the center. A dot right here in the middle. Remember that the first part of a drawing, you want to use very light strokes so you can erase later easily. I'm drawing just a little bit harder so you can see, but very light strokes.
梁太啊，先生話咧，你初畫嗰陣時咧，你輕輕咁畫，你畫到你滿意為止咧，咁你先正用多啲力畫。咁樣嗰啲你唔滿意嗰啲你就擦走佢。
And now we are going to divide the first part. So from the dot up, we'll divide it into thirds, equal thirds, like this. So I have my first, second, third. Make sure they're equally spaced. I'm gonna put numbers so I can explain a bit better, but you don't write the numbers, okay? And we're gonna do the same with the bottom. So from the dot to here, divide it into thirds. Let's do a little bit more of a straight. And now after we have our, so we have 4, 5, and 6. So this is just a guideline. Don't write the numbers, just the dots in light pressure so we can erase easily after. So after I have my dots, I want to draw an oval from number 1. So I'll put it right here, from number 1 to number 5. And I'm gonna draw an oval over here. This doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just gonna cover the screen for a little bit so I can draw. So a long oval. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for us to know this is the side of the face. You see how my first circle was here, but if I do the oval, I end up here because this part we're gonna erase after, okay? So I'll repeat that again. I'm gonna draw a circle on the side, on the left side of my big circle. I'm gonna draw, an oval from starting on number 1, going all the way to number 5. And once you're done that side, we'll do the same thing, but on the right side. So we'll do the same on the right side from 1 to 5, an oval. Remember, these are just our first guidelines. We can change anything we make here, but the more accurate your guidelines are, the easier the rest of the drawing will be. And remember, don't bring your oval all the way to the outer circle. Don't do that. There is always a little bit of space because when you look at a face from the front, the side is usually flatter. And now we're gonna draw a straight line that goes through number 3. And we're going to draw 2 more lines. One in number 1. And the other one in number 5. And now, so this is where you really have to draw the person that you're drawing. But for now, we'll make quote unquote the perfect face. So the symmetrical face, we're gonna grab this distance from 3 to 5, and we're gonna draw it the same distance from 5 to wherever it gives you. So I'm gonna repeat that again. So from 3 to 5, I measure and draw a dot starting from 5, wherever it gives you. So mine is right here. But some people, this is not just as symmetrical. If you look at my drawing, this is equal to this and equal to this. Some people, if their forehead is bigger, you draw this a little bit bigger, or if their nose, the space from the eyebrow to the nose is bigger, this could be bigger, and then the chin could be very small. So just at the person or the picture you're drawing and see what the proportion is. So after I have here, it will be my number 7. I'm gonna draw a line down the middle. Doesn't have to be right on your dots. Just make sure it's in the middle horizontally. And after you have that line down the middle, we're gonna finish the jaw. So again, every person is different. Some people have very round jaws, other people square jaws. So I'm gonna bring this oval, I'll bring it down a little bit. Just a little bit. And then I connect 7, number 7. So check your proportions to make sure they're symmetrical. So now that we have the jaw, we have almost the outline. We're now going to draw the space of where the eyes would be. So the eyebrows usually go on number 3. And the eyes, we could make them just not on number 4, but just maybe just a little bit higher than number 4. And we'll make a line to give us an idea that here it's the eyes. And we're gonna draw the ears. The ears usually come from number 5 here at the bottom. If the person is looking straight at the camera, usually go from number 5 to number 3, the top. And they come out a little bit of the circle. So again, remember to always look at the person. This is the symmetry if the person is looking straight into the camera. So now we're gonna draw a line indicating the side of the face and the cheeks. So my chin is here, and I go from the side just a little bit up to maybe the middle of the ear, but just before we touch the first oval. And you see it's not a straight line, although it could be. And now we are going to put a little bit more of the eyes and other indications. So like I mentioned before, eyes are on number between 3 and this line we made. So I like to make an indication of where the eyebrows would go. And sometimes, or usually, the bone that we have on our eyebrows is like this. So this will be our eyebrow. This will be part of our eye. You should continue to draw with a light stroke, as light as you can. And usually our nose starts somewhere here. The nose goes from the middle of the eyes to where our lower square was, so number 5. So the nose could be down here, and it's usually a triangle. So you see, I draw a straight a line. The line is straight, but it's going to the sides a little bit, just to indicate where the nose would go. I'm gonna repeat that part. I did the top of my eyebrows in number 3, or the middle of the circle initially. I bring the corners down to indicate that my eyes are there. And then from the middle of my eyes, I start the nose going down all the way to number 5, or where my first square was. That's where my nose is. If you need to fix something, you can erase. And now we're gonna draw the mouth. So usually I draw the mouth with my first circle ends, or number 6 in this case. I'm just going to erase my numbers just a little bit, because we're not gonna need them anymore. So this was my line here. And so the mouth, I usually start with the middle of the mouth, not the upper or lower lip, but just the middle, just the line, an indication. Usually the lower lip is thicker and the upper lip is thinner. So again, draw a straight line on number 6 first. Then I draw another line underneath, kind of straight but not as long. And I draw a U here. After I have my U, I connect it to the side of the mouth. For most people, the mouth ends straight down from the center of the eye. So if the center of the eye is here, straight down, that's where my mouth ends. Center of the eye would be here. My mouth ends here. And I connect my lower lip. Not completely, I like to leave a little bit of a space. And now the U I made, now I connect it. But I make like an M, as in mother. Just gonna make it just a tiny bit smaller. Let's see. And I connect it not to the end, but just a little bit before. So not to the end, but just a little bit before. Here's the end, I'll start over here. Now that we have our guidelines, we're gonna draw the hairline. So this is where number 1 was. This is usually where the hairline is. So you can draw, this will vary in each person, but we'll make a curve here where number 1 was. And then once we start to touch the oval, we'll bring it down and follow that oval closely to the ear and then back. Just a little bit of an indication where our hair is. Erase what you don't like. So remember the very first circle we made? We did not use the side of that circle, which was up to here. Maybe you did, but if you have extra lines that don't fit anywhere, you can erase those. If your marks on the up to now are strong, put your eraser flat and lightly erase, but make sure you still have the line, just not as strong. And I am going to indicate where the head will go. So we're gonna repeat this line. This is the, oh, sorry. I'm just gonna go over it, but you see my line starts here. I want it just a little bit closer to the rest of the drawing to indicate the ear comes out. Same here, I have my ear here, my hairline here. The line starts not at the corner, but closer into the rest of the face. And I'm gonna draw the neck. It's very easy, just a line straight down. Now, we're gonna start drawing over our first layout. So if you have different pencil, you can use the ones that are a bit stronger, like the B. But if you have just the one, that's fine too. Just make sure your strokes are with a little bit more pressure.
Is that a 2B or a 3B?
You can start with the 2B. So I personally like drawing the eyebrows first. So I'm here on 3 where I did my markings. I'm just gonna draw hair by hair. Sometimes eyebrows go up. So I just drew hair by hair. The hairs that are in the inner side are short and usually go up. And as I move to my left here, they're longer and go more towards the side. And here they go down. In the center, they're short and go up. And as I move along, they're longer to the side. And here they go down. After we have our eyebrows, I like to make an indication of how the bridge of the nose starts here. So I'll make an indication here, but just on one side. Usually you only see one side because the light is hitting the other side. So we'll just do one side. I'm just gonna erase my first dots and numbers. So here was my bridge. And here's where my number 5 was. So for the nose, where I made the line where the nose was, we're gonna draw a big U, like this, like an open U, very open. Maybe the left side goes up a little bit more. So I have an indication that my nose starts here and then that ends here. Anytime you're drawing a specific person, look at the shape of the nose. And now we're gonna indicate the side of the nose. We can make a small line like this. So like small or wide C's, like a parenthesis. Now we're gonna do the nostrils. They're like kidneys, two little kidneys or beans. But because the nose, the point of the nose is covering, we'll just make a small dot there. And this usually goes underneath that dot. So it's kind of like a circle or an oval. And I make these go underneath. And now we're gonna go to the mouth. Usually the upper lip, because it's going down, it's looking down, is a little bit darker. But first, so I have my M here. I'm gonna draw a little U, a very wide U, just like that. After I have my U, I like to follow that line or that shadow, I will say, and we're just gonna gently color the line. I'll make it, once I see it's my actual line of the opening of the mouth, I'll make it very dark. So the line, very dark, and then I'll do lighter as I go up. So right here, I go lighter, but I still color or shade a little bit. I'm gonna bring the camera closer. So I'm gently shadowing, and I'll cover the entire lip, very light, because I'm at the top now, very lightly. I'm getting close to the middle line. I go darker. Sorry, I'm having issues with my stand today. There we go. And now we're gonna do the lower lip. It's usually lighter. It's very, very dark close to my mouth, but just for a little bit. So I'll just do a little bit of shading right here, but just a little bit to indicate that shadow from the upper lip. So again, this is my middle line of the opening of the mouth. I shade just a little bit and not, I try to stay away from the corners, just the center. And right now the key is, if you're not sure how dark something needs to be, you can do it lightly and put more and more layers. And we're gonna draw, we'll keep doing the upper lip. Once you're done, you can start shading this lower line, just down. Light pressure. Remember, like I always tell you, it's a good idea to take a step back and look at your drawing from a little bit farther away, just because sometimes when we're so close to an area, we forget the rest. And once we step back, we see that the area maybe was too dark or too big or too light. If you're happy how your drawing is looking, we'll just make darker lines on the bottom and maybe draw a better ear here. So my jaw comes here. My ear comes from here. Ends there. And we usually have this, oopsie, this little flap over here. And I repeat it on the other side. My jaw is here. My ear begins here. And the little flap. That's the line I had already. Just got erased. So now we're gonna draw the eyes. So we had already that eyebrow and the nose, which was a triangle over here. I'll redraw it. This is my triangle that we already had. Sometimes I like to draw a line here to indicate the depth of the nose. I'm gonna repeat that. This was our triangle for the nose, the line, and our bridge. I just drew a straight line down around here. So I have this line. I'm gonna make another line. Well, it's this one that we have made previously for the eye. I'll just make it a little bit stronger and draw another line here. It's just like an indication of where lights and shadows go for later. And now with your light pen or light pressure, we draw the eye. So the eye usually starts somewhere here, close to the nose. That's one. If you're happy with your eye, we'll do the same on the other side. I know it's tricky sometimes, but my way to measure eyes is usually the space from the corner of the eye to the other corner of the eye equals the length of your eye. So it's like having a third invisible eye here, and then your other eye starts. So that will look like I measure this, then move it here, and that's where my other eye starts. So let's do that. So I'm measuring from my line, white line. So from my white line to the corner of the first eye I drew is this much. Now the corner of my eye to my white line is right here. So I'll make a dot there. And then I measured the same distance from the corner of my eye to the other corner of my eye. Should be the same distance here. It's around here. And if you think they're too big or too small, you can always go fix the other eye. Whatever you like better. So you see how eyes are not just circles? And when you do your drawing, your eyes always end up in the middle of the whole picture. Because a lot of times when we're starting to draw, we draw a circle. Let me show you over here. We draw a circle and we put the eyes at the top of the face. That's usually never right. Eyes always go in the middle of the face. I know it sounds weird, and we think our nose is actually in the middle of the face, but look at the drawing. From the very top line to the jaw, what's in the middle? The eyes. So I'm gonna repeat what I just said about the eyes. The spacing between the corners, the inner corners of the eye is equal to the length of your eye. And usually you could fit another eye from the corner of the face to the corner of the eye. So technically, if you can fit 5 equal eyes along, you know you have a good proportion of eyes. So now we'll draw our eyelid. Where did I put my pen? So to draw the eyelid, so this is my eye. It's just a line that follows my first line there. It's dark here, and as I go in, it's lighter. Light and dark, and a lot of the times there's more space here than here. Now we're gonna draw the pupil. So I know we like to draw big circles as our iris inside the eye, but usually the only way you do for a full circle is if our eyes are wide open, like when you're scared. So we're gonna draw part of that circle. So if this is our circle, our iris, our eyelids are usually covering this part. So we're gonna draw this, the left and the right side. You see how I only drew left and right? And we're gonna put a little bit of color. So I'm gonna do it over here a bit bigger. So this is my pupil, my eye, sorry, my iris. This is my eye. To color, first you're gonna draw a little dot like this inside. And then you're gonna draw a triangle. We'll do it together in a bit. I just wanna show you. So we draw the circle, but we leave the triangle white. So let's do that. I know our drawing is small, but sometimes you can make it look like it's realistic, even if it's small. So I'll draw my U. Just a U in the middle. That's her pupil. Once you have that pupil, then we're gonna draw a triangle, maybe from the middle of the pupil. And we are gonna color that. So you see, I did a U, drew a triangle that begins on the U, and then color my U, but leaving the triangle white. And this is like all the, like the grain you see is just the paper. It's just toned paper. If you're done, you can do the exact same thing on the other eye. Make sure the triangle is on the same side. So draw exactly the same here. So I'll show you just in case this is a little bit confusing. So a U, and then a triangle, and just color the U. I'm just gonna change my triangle a little bit. I'll make it bigger. And now we're gonna color the rest of the eye, but I'll show you here on this big one. So when I color eyes, I do lines coming from the pupil out, just like that. When it gets closer to the pupil here, it's darker. As I go out, it's lighter. So close to the dark circle is dark. As I go out, is lighter. I know our drawing is small, but your eye will get the idea, and it will look good. And now we're going to draw the eyelashes. Again, I'll show you on this side. Don't just put this is very common, but you don't want that. You want to follow this line. So one by one, I just follow and up, follow and up, follow and up. It's like this. We'll just do half of the eye, so just this half, okay? So from the center out. Just like that, very small. Usually when I draw women, I make a lot more, but with men, not as many. So eyelashes are just like that. Another day we could do just the eye and put lots of detail in an eye. Very fun to draw. It's the same on the other side. Just from the middle to the outer, not here. Maybe we can do a little, like a different type of hair. I'll just add some lines and you can add them after you're done your eyes.
Silvana, your hand is covering.
Oh, sorry.
What you're doing. Thank you.
So I'm just going over the hairline. Just gonna erase this part. If you're done with your eyes, we're just going to add a little bit of shading and then we're done with our drawing, okay? So I start with a light pencil or light pressure. And I like to start on the darker areas. So I'll start and then you can follow me. So usually, sorry, this is the neck. Usually you can either do lines like this, just to one side, or you can do circles, whatever it's easier. So usually your cheeks tend to be a little bit darker. Light layers, just add as you need them. So I did the cheeks and the left side of the nose. Usually one side of our face is darker because light tends to hit from one side. So I'll do the left side of the face just a little bit darker. Don't worry if you go over the eye, that's okay. Under the eye a little bit. Cheek. Go light, always start light. The inner corner of our eye tends to be shadowed by the nose. So I'm gonna show you what I've been shadowing. I did the entire left side of the face, but I follow what I touch. So what I mean is if I'm shadowing here, I touch the eyebrow, so I go in a little bit. I'm shadowing here, but I touch the eye, so I go in a little bit. I forgot the inner part of the eye, so I'll show you here. So this is what we have here. We're just gonna draw a drop going up like this. And then a triangle over here. That's usually how our eyes are inside. So just the line, I know it's small, but we'll see the difference. So now that I'm getting closer to the front of the face, I am doing lighter. I go back here, dark. I go here, light, very light. I touch the mouth, so I follow the mouth. On the right side, I don't do too much. Maybe just under the eyes, a little bit more. You don't have to follow me exactly. You'll look at the picture and look at where I have shaded, and you do the same on yours. The right side, make sure you do this part, the corner, inner corner, because it's inside our cavity of the eye, under the skull. on the neck, we'll draw a shadow indicating the shadow from the head. Maybe we can color the hair. I know I'm just going a little bit fast, but it's just because of time. Once it's done, you can take a picture, and if you're missing anything, you can, because shadowing is very easy. Sometimes I like to go over my really dark stuff with even more pressure. So my really dark darks. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm just going to bring something from upstairs. I'll let you catch up, okay?
We have a surprise to show everybody after this.
So I wanted to show you something I like to use that you don't need, but if you really like drawing and draw often and want to make your drawings better, I use a white charcoal pencil just to do the highlights. So for example, I just do the pupils of the eye. Maybe a little bit of highlight on the lips. Again, you don't need this, but if you're really into drawing and would like to pursue, it's a good investment. I'm gonna draw a line here and make it dark, just to indicate a little bit more detail on the ears. Perfect, and we're all done. My charcoal is not picking up there. Sometimes to blend, you can get a piece of paper or just with your fingers, but you will get dirty. Just a towel paper like this and just blend lightly. It will look smoother. You don't have to, but sometimes it looks nice.